वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयते। प्रणतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तन हृदय भद्राणि विदुनति वत्सता नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नष्टकी. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 19th chapter, verse 28 through 32. Verse number 28. Vayam marutvantam iharthanashanam hi vayamahe tvacha charvasha hatatvisam ayatya yamapo havair anantaram prasyahaya rajan juhavama te hitam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Dear King, Indra's power are already reduced due to his attempt to impede the execution of your sacrifice. We shall call him by Vedic mantras which were never before used, and certainly he will come. Thus, by the power of our mantra, we shall cast him into the fire because he is your enemy. Purport. By chanting the Vedic mantras properly in a sacrifice, one can perform many wonderful things. In Kali Yuga, however, there are no qualified brahmanas who can chant the mantras properly. Consequently, no attempt should be made to perform such a big sacrifices. In this age, the only sacrifice recommended is the Sankirtana movement. Verse number 29. इति अमन्त्रयः कृतुपतिं विदुरास्य च त्वजितो रुषः स्रगग्रस्तान् जुहवातो अभ्यत्या स्वयंभुः प्रतीयस्येदता. Translation. My dear Vidura, after giving the king this advice, the priest who had been engaged in the performing the sacrifice called for Indra, the king of heaven, in a mood of great anger. When they were just ready to put the oblation into the fire, Lord Brahma appeared on the scene and forbade them to start the sacrifice. Verse number 30. न वध्यो भवतामिन्द्रो यज्ञो भगवन्तनु यम जिज्ञासथ यथेन यश्रेष्ठा अस्तनवः सुरा. Translation. Lord Brahma addressed them thus: My dear sacrificial performers, you cannot kill the Indra, the king of heaven. It is not your duty. You should know that the Indra is as good as the supreme personality of Godhead. Indeed, he is one of the most powerful assistants of the supreme personality of Godhead. You are trying to satisfy all the demigods by the performance of this yajna, but you should know that all these demigods are but part and parcels of Indra, the king of heaven. How then can you kill him in the great sacrifice? Verse number 31. Tad idam pashyat mahad dharma व्यक्तिकरम द्विजा इंद्रियाणानुतिष्ठितं राज्ञः कर्म तद्विजिघांसता. In order to make the trouble and impede the performance of King Prithu's great sacrifice, King Indra has adopted some means that in future will destroy the clear path of religious life. I draw your attention to this fact. If you oppose him any further, he will further misuse his power and introduce many other irreligious systems. Verse number 32. पृथुकृतेर प्रथोर्भूयात् कर्ति एको न सह क्रतु अलाम ते क्रतुभिः स्विस्तेर यद भवान मोक्ष धर्मवित्. Translation. Let there be only 99 sacrificial performances for Maharaj Prithu. Lord Brahma concluded. Lord Brahma then turned towards the Maharaj Prithu and informed him that since he was thoroughly aware of the path of liberation, what was the use in performing more sacrifice? Purport. Lord Brahma came down to pacify the king Prithu regarding his continual performance of 100 sacrifices. King Prithu was determined to perform 100 sacrifices, and King Indra took this very seriously because Indra himself was known as the performer of 100 sacrifices. Just as it is the nature of living entity within this material world to become envious of their competitor, King Indra, although the king of heaven, was also envious of King Prithu and therefore wanted to stop him from performing 100 sacrifices. Actually, there was a great competition, and King Indra, to satisfy his senses, began to invent so many irreligious systems to abstract King Prithu. To stop this irreligious invention, Lord Brahma personally appeared in the sacrificial arena. As far as Maharaj Prithu was concerned, he was a great devotee of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, it was not necessary for him to perform the prescribed Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. Such ceremonies are known as a karma, and there is no need for a devotee in transcendental position to execute them. As the ideal king, however, it was King Prithu's duty to perform sacrifices. As a compromise was therefore to be worked out, and by the blessing of Lord Brahma, King Prithu would become more famous than King Indra. Thus, Prithu's determination to perform 100 sacrifice was indirectly fulfilled by the blessing of Lord Brahma. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं प्रकदामयं ददाति स्वदन्तिकम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So thank you all for giving me this opportunity to take note for these verses and share with you. Please forgive me if my mistake if I added my own interpretation here. So I was just googling on the internet. Here in this verses it is mentioned so many religion, irreligion. So so called how many religion today we have in this world. So to my surprise, the Google result came 10,000. 10,000 different religions in the world. Obviously, out of these, like five are most prominent: the Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and Islam. And interestingly, Hare Krishna. Can you go on mute, please? Someone is chanting on mute. So that is very interesting that out of these five prominent, the three came from India or started in India: the Hinduism, Buddhism, or Sikhism. And within Hinduism, there are so many religion. Uh, Actually, the Sikhism also is one kind of like it is like connected to Hinduism. And similarly, there are so many other uh, sub-religion in Christianity and other religion. So there are so many. So it is said that if someone wants to know about religion, that person should go to the India. On this very land, couple of time, Lord Indra, who is the in charge of rain and other demigods, so couple of time basically his anger, lust, greed, or other things basically exposed by the Krishna. So in the Govardhan Leela also, the Krishna wanted to make King Indra angry. Obviously, Indra was a devotee, not a demon, but because of he was very puffed up of his power, so Krishna wanted to teach him a lesson. So Krishna stopped his yajna, and then Samvartaka was ordered by Indra, and Indra ordered him to go to the Vrindavan and drown the entire area with severe flood. So by Krishna's desire, then we can see the great mountain Giri Govardhan becomes the umbrella for the entire Vrindavan. And then Indra understood that now he is in trouble. So he stopped the rain and then he came down and offered the respect to Krishna, begging the forgiveness. So similarly, in this chapter also, we can see Indra got into trouble. King Prithu is a great Vaishnava, and Indra somehow became envious of King Prithu. So that is the nature of this material world. Basically, all the living entities are born into illusion and completely bewildered by the dualities, which is basically arising from Ichha and Dvesh. Excuse me. So, the desire and hate, basically. So, we should not be surprised. This material world is just like that. If someone is free from envy, then that should be the surprise for us. So the king Prithu, he was the liberated person, completely on the level of freedom, and we can see so many bad qualities in the living entities in this material world. So in Japan, there is a saying that everybody has three faces. So first face, which we basically show to our good friends and relatives, very friendly, very sort of well wisher. The second phase is we show to the public. Very nice image we try to build. And the third phase, which basically we do not want to show to anybody. What is that phase? The phase of lust, anger, and greed. We always try to hide, but sometime we could not do it. For example, any fruit, if we squeeze it hard, what it comes out? The juice. Though juice is covered by the skin or pill, but the moment we put into some machine or squeeze it, what what is inside comes out. Sometime if we squeeze by the circumstances, our third phase basically comes out. The third phase of lust, greed, and anger. So, like here also, Indra, he was so much attached with his post, his designation, and he could not hide his third phase of envy. And in order to stop or not allowing King Prithu to complete his 100th sacrifice, he came in the disguise of many sannyasis and he started many Kaitava dharma or cheating religion. So we can see the effect of this very pastime. So many cheating religion we can see in this material world nowadays. People are making fool of innocent people by following this Kaitava dharma. So here the envy, what is the opposite of envy? The opposite of envy to help someone. So in this case of Indra could have done in this situation is to encourage King Prithu for performing more than 100, even more than 100 sacrifice for the Krishna's pleasure. And he should encourage King Prithu to even beat his own record of 100 sacrifice. So this is called like Vaikuntha consciousness. Rather than getting into the way of someone in the service of Krishna, rather than getting into that person's way, we should help him. So ultimately, Lord Brahma had to come and act as a mediator. And next chapter, we'll see even Vishnu will come and he will explain, okay, leave it, that's fine. Uh, so Indra could not spread the cheating of religion more and more. Lord Brahma has to intervene. So we can see this envy is such a disturbance, and devotee can be free from this envy only by rendering service to the Krishna and his devotee. So we are very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada came and let us know that we have this contamination of lust, greed, and anger, and we have to work on it. Before Prabhupada, even many would not know that they have this problem of envy. So if we maintain some envy towards devotee, that means we are maintaining that envy to Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada came and addressed this issue and gave us Krishna. Very valuable thing. How we can repay to Srila Prabhupada? We cannot repay, but Srila Prabhupada once he said that, okay, if you really want to repay, uh, I gave you this valuable things, matchless gift. If really you want to repay me, then try to preach this Krishna conscious to the society or distribute my books. So that is the compassion of great devotee like Srila Prabhupada. They want to see basically everyone free from envy, lust, and greed. So Srila Prabhupada, he preached by his own example how we can become tolerant, how we can implement this Tranadapi Sunichin Tararupi Saishuna uh, shloka in our life. So in his early days, he had a student. His name was David, and he was staying with Srila Prabhupada. But that guy, David, had some attraction, still some attraction towards drugs. And one day after taking drug, he became very violent towards Srila Prabhupada. And then Srila Prabhupada just left. And then how this 26th Avenue Center was opened by the help of Mukunda Maharaj. Not very next day, but Mukunda Maharaj made Prabhupada stay in the apartment. And there also there was a height. I mean, there was some lady staying in that apartment. That lady was too much rude to the Prabhupada, and she used to keep the meat in the same refrigerator. But Srila Prabhupada, he was tolerant enough. He tolerated all and then taught us become how we can become tolerant by his own example. So if one is tolerant, then only one can become compassionate. Otherwise, there is no hope. There is no way to do something good for the society. So people in this material world, they are really suffering and they don't know the goal of their life. Lots of confusion. So by becoming the compassionate and tolerant, devotee can preach and devotee can please Krishna and our uh, previous and current acharyas. That would be a great help in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Become friendly with others. Tell them about Krishna. Is very pleasing. This activity is very pleasing to Krishna. And how we can become friendly to everyone? We have to understand that everyone is part and parcels of Krishna. Then only we can become friendly to everyone. I would like to conclude here. Thank you very much. Please forgive me